Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Sunday school. This week, today's the first official day. We're going to start the story. Sunday school will have something to do about the story, and then preaching in the morning service to finish up chapter 1. We're supposed to have a video, but our system's a little bit older than what can handle that. So we're going to try to get the old system to be able to play video come next week. If not, we may have to see about updating some of our equipment. So it's probably due anyway to be updated. So that may be something we have to do anyway. So we'll discuss that. If we can't figure out what to do, then we'll discuss about upgrading. So, God's story, it's all about Jesus. From front to back, it don't matter what story you read, it's all leading to Jesus. The Bible is 70% stories. God had it wrote that way because we enjoy stories as humans. You know, people like reading books, people like watching movies, sitcoms or whatever. But the way our mind works, we enjoy stories. And that's the way we can absorb things. So that's why God had the Bible wrote as stories, if you ask me. That's my opinion now. That's not coming from nowhere. That's my opinion. That's why the Bible is wrote in so many stories, so that we can understand it a little bit better and be able to move forward and learn about his story. I'm going to speak about Noah a little bit. All y'all know a lot about Noah, I'm sure. From the time he was this big until now, you've heard about Noah. Got me a fly. And the preacher's going to preach on creation, which is the other half of chapter 1. Noah was a good man in a very corrupt, vicious era of our history. He was good. And God seen favor in him because he was good. So God spoke to him and told him that he was going to destroy the world. But he was going to save him and his family. So he had 3 sons, and his wife and their wives, he told them to build an ark. Some of y'all went and seen the ark. Am I correct? We weren't able to make that trip, but I know some of y'all did, and I know it's probably quite amazing to see. So, one time I'm trying to get up there. It's in Kentucky, correct?
It is, and it's just mind-blowing how big that it is. So if y'all ever get a chance, go.
He said that he gave me dimensions on how big to make it. Since you mentioned size, he said to make it 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 high. To give you an example, cubits in today's measurements, like 1 cubit is like a yard. So that's like 3 football fields long, according to today's measurements. Back in the Bible, cubits, they say it ranged anywhere from 18 to 22 inches. So you're probably talking, it's still at least around 2 football fields long. Is that correct about what you've seen, somewhere around there? So, you know how long, you think about how long a football field is. Most of us all been to a football game. And think about anywhere between 2 to 3 football fields long. And as wide as one is long, that's how wide it was. So that's a pretty big boat. Especially back in those days, somebody trying to build it, you know, they ain't got the tools they got now. So, and we got some woodworkers in here, they understand trying to make that out of wood. It'd be quite a job, wouldn't it? So, but, you know, he told him that for him and his family to go in there, and that he would send 2 of every animal, every creature, a male and a female. So that way they could reproduce after this was all over. So the flood came, and it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. So we can imagine, think about a heavy downpour that rains 15 minutes, how things quickly flood. So my understanding is that water even came up out of the ground as well as coming down from the heavens. So it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and the flood lasted for about 150 days, which is, you know, that's almost half a year. That's a long time to be flooded. So yeah, you would think it pretty much everything's going to die, you know, flood that long. But God felt that He needed to cleanse the world. And that's the only way He's going to cleanse it is to start over with a righteous family. So He did that, and on the 7th day of the 7th month, the ark rested against Mount Ararat, if I pronounce that correctly. It rested there. And then on the first day of the 10th month, which is my birthday, the mountains become visible. So, you know, it's the ark stopped moving is when it rested, but then it still couldn't see anything. And then on the first day of the 10th month, the water receded enough that they could see the tops of the mountains. Now, some of us been up in the mountains of North Carolina, right? That's probably the closest mountains. And you know how high it is. Remember we went to see the highest point? And think about that. When the floods came, it was 15 cubits higher than the highest mountain. So, and that's not even the highest mountain. So everything else was really, right here would be really, really, I can't imagine how deep it would be here, but it'd be tremendously deep in an area like this. But anyway, on the first day of the 10th month, they could see dry land. And on the 27th day of the 2nd month, they could actually get out of the ark and be able to walk on dry land, which had to be a blessing after being on a boat that long. If anybody been on a cruise for 3 days or 5 days, then imagine being on it for basically a year. You know, it's a long time. So, but God said, go ahead and turn the animals loose and let them free, and basically for everyone to start to reproduce. The animals, the people, and everything. And everybody just start reproducing and start filling up the earth again. So Noah built an altar. You know, every church I've been in has some type of altar. And my mama wanted an altar in her house, but we never got one. But I think it's, you know, kind of makes me want one, because Noah built an altar and he put pleasant smells on there to be burnt, and just so the Lord could smell them and be pleasant, and it was like it was his sacrifice. I mean, obviously he couldn't sacrifice animals because all we had was 2 of everything, so he did the burning. And the Lord he loved it. He loved that they were, you know, doing that for him. So he said, go ahead and multiply, and you know, everything's going to turn out good, you know, because we're going to start fresh. And so the Lord sent a rainbow. And the rainbow was God's promise that He would never destroy the earth by water again. And that's all I have. I do have an announcement I'm going to make right now, and I'll announce it later today. But there's a box up here for hats for a little boy going through cancer. And you can stick it in there. But other than that, I don't have any other announcements for this morning. Do anybody have any announcements?
Choir practice at 4 tonight.
Choir practice at 4 tonight.
And the next Women of Faith is June 1st, 6 o'clock.
First.
And I've got a hat here for those that haven't signed it, if y'all would like to sign it, that we're sending to Caleb. I'll just stick it up front.
All right. That's all we have right now. Albert, will you pray, bless it?
Yeah, let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you again for another day. God, we do thank you for the beautiful sunshine you give us today. God, we thank you for the church you give us to come to worship you. Thank you for Sunday Spirit. Thank you for it. God, we just ask you to be here with us in a mighty way. Please forgive us for we pray for us in Christ's name we ask. Amen.
Amen.